Hello, everyone. Welcome to all of you. We are here on our talk for our Highest Potential Alliance. And we're very happy today to come with another theme that Amanola will actually expose to you. And we'll see where that leads us. Welcome, Aman.
Hi, everyone, everywhere in the world, wherever you are. If you're listening this uh, today or you're listening this several months down the road, I think this is a subject that is very needed to talk about it. And that's how am I dealing with chaos? These days, there are so many chaos in a personal level, in a social level, on the news, on the countries, all of these news, we hear it. How are we dealing with it? And how we can manage ourselves to be grounded in our own life and still thriving instead of surviving. So the question I have, it's started. I would be the last to answer it. So let's start it with Zorka. How are you dealing with the chaos, especially with everything that is happening in the world?
All right. Thank you, Aman. I think before explaining how I deal with chaos, maybe I would like to talk about chaos. What is chaos energetically? Because I'm an energy person, and so I love to look at things from an energetic perspective. And for me, chaos is a very special time always in the energy processes, because it is a time where we don't have the structures we used to have that are very comfortable, and we don't yet have our new structures that we will maybe be comfortable with again. So chaos is a moment of like undoing and not yet ready to be in a different kind of order. So that moment is a moment of transition, and it's a moment, and for me, I realized over the years that understanding what chaos was, and that chaos is part of our reality, if we see it or we live it consciously or not, that understanding what chaos is about really helps me relate to it and also live with it, because it is part of life. So I have learned over the 30 last years to live in a lot of chaos. And so I have my practice. I feel like I have been practicing chaos like half of my life. And sometimes I even think like, wow, the world is getting chaotic. It's like catching up with me. So that's kind of interesting to watch that. So that being said, I also feel that chaos is also, we also always say like a crisis, which is chaos is a crisis usually, right? When things are kind of falling apart, there's always an opportunity. You know, we can see it as oh, it's a bummer, everything is falling apart, or like, wow, all these energies that were trapped in structures are being freed up. Now they will be available to me. What do I want to do with them? And I say that on a very personal level, but I think today those are the questions we need to ask ourselves on a very global social level. Things are falling apart. The way we used to relate are not the same. And so all these things we had as point of references are falling apart. And now, of course, it's kind of an unknown place, but that's where everything, all the possibility lies. All the possibilities are actually there. And I like to sit with myself regularly and to just be with that unstructured reality, and let myself settle down It could be a meditation, or just sit down and just contemplate the lake or the tree, or listen to, some wind or whatever that is that helps me to just be. And in those moments, things start to appear to me in a different way. And I have different ways of looking at things, new ideas come in, or something appears that I didn't think about before. So that's one of the ways I like to deal with chaos, to just let things settle down like the water, when you kind of like move it, and then you have to let things come down and see clearly through. And so yeah, for me, chaos is sometimes a little challenging, of course, like for all of us. But I do really see the opportunity, and I try to look at that every moment I can.
Beautiful, beautiful. Especially having that shift, instead of something that it can be very hurtful, it's opportunity is there, and there is a possibility in there. Just shifting your perspective and point of view. Excellent, and thank you for those techniques. It's very valuable. Danielle, how about you? Would you like to say how you're dealing with the chaos?
Well, I'm actually, the way I'm dealing with it is simple. I never have chaos in my life. My life is so well organized that chaos never exists in my life. Of course, it's an absolute joke. Of course. Actually, I'm very happy that chaos exists. I have to say, there is a big drive in me that surges when there is chaos coming. Because chaos means usually, at least in my perspective, the possibility of something better. I'm just going to share a very little piece of my life, little story. When I was very small, very, very small, recently born, I was thrown out into a big chaos just because of the way the family structure happened. Without going into any details, it was a huge chaos, and it was, I know in my cells it felt very stressful. But at the same time, after some years and realizing that I had to go through that chaos to obviously get into something so much better than the beginning or the part before the chaos, that it's something that I think has marked me, it has imprinted something in me, that chaos can be very, very positive. You have to go through it, it's intense. There is a lot of like bubbling emotional stuff and beyond sometimes, but at the same time there's something that after that there is a possibility. And I think when I feel the chaos, I also sometimes feel a little like apprehension, I would say, or have questions of how is it going to be? Am I sure that this is going to happen and that after this? And I'm not sure of anything actually. And I think a good way for me to be with chaos is to just come back to this experience of mine, which has happened a few times later, to come inside my body and feel that excitement that comes up, and this opening of something better that is going to really bring me in a more joyous, more harmonious, and I would say happy place. So yeah, I think connecting back to that feeling is important to be able to manage chaos, because it's really everywhere, especially these days. Let's see, because it's a huge question, to be very honest. I mean, for me, yes, it comes to me now. Chaos is also about sitting down and coming back inside. It's sometimes challenging because chaos is everywhere. When it's everywhere, it feels it's all over. You cannot escape from chaos. It's almost like touching you from outside and inside, and you cannot go anywhere. And I think it's the best time to not go anywhere, to come back inside and say, okay, wow, this is really wild. You know, this is so much stuff going on. This is so like, wow. You know, just to be with that awe of so much, maybe sometimes without the judgment, not saying, oh, it's bad or this or that, but just, whoa, feeling the energy, the intensity of it, and then saying, okay, and now what if I close my eyes, if I take a deep breath and I really feel what's happening inside? And then if you do that, you might come to a place where there is some excitement about it because you can start to tune in the possibilities of the chaos leading to a transition and a transformation. So yeah, and there's many different aspects to it. I think I could go on for a long time. I'm not about creating more chaos right now because we're trying to like be kind with it and and I would say harness it in a gentle way. So maybe one more thing that comes to me about dealing with chaos. Oh yeah, sometimes I amplify it. I love that, amplifying the chaos. So instead of trying to push it away or to resist to what's coming because it's everywhere, as I said before, at least that's my experience sometimes. It's a little bit like Aikido. For the ones of you that have heard about Aikido, this Japanese martial art, where actually you can be a teeny weeny little person, very skinny, not very strong, and have this huge opponent, this huge guy, very muscular, very strong, come at you, and you want to use his energy without doing much effort. You don't want to resist it. You want to really receive it fully and then lead it so it can pass next to you without you being hurt or affected by that. And I think with chaos, it's a little bit the same. When you can really embrace it, then you can dance with it. And dancing in chaos is beautiful. I mean, maybe that's my last little sharing about chaos, that I enjoy dancing with chaos. When there is chaos, put on some music, start to dance and be in movement with the chaos. And then soon something changes. And as Zorka mentioned, you might have an inspiration or something that comes to you because you really were with it and not trying to resist it. And I think that's one of the good keys for dealing with chaos. Yes.
Excellent, beautiful, beautiful. What I hear from both of you is when the chaos is present, each one of you have your own technique, but both of them, they have one thing in common, very importantly in common, and that's going inside, paying attention to yourself. Let's say it like this: we have three kind of chaos. One kind of chaos is inside. If we are going through this chaos internally. Another kind of it is chaos in the friends and family or relationship or work or something that is directly related and you're experiencing it. Another one is the news about chaos. So news about chaos, deal with it is very easy. You can just turn off the receiver so you don't have to hear it. That one is easy. Now, the one that I'm dealing with it's like just accident happened and my car is wrecked. That's I need to deal with it. Now, I can react to the moment, and by reaction, being illogical, emotional, and totally going up and down with what is happening, and I can add to the issue. Another part of it is I can just, the way that we say it in yoga, we make a deep breath. With exhale, come back. It's like I collect all of my energy and I ground myself to this moment. Now, for many of us, if we haven't done this, maybe it's not easy. One of the things for I have it for my student. I ask them, if you're standing, just lift your heels and tap your heels down and feel your heels when it's tapping the floor each time, because that's where you start feeling the earth underneath your feet, and your attention is coming to your body. And our body is the only part of us that is always in present time. Coming to present time and then breathing deeply and slowly is shifting our approach to what is happening. And then naturally, there is many other techniques. The very foundational technique that is one of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga is pratyahara, how you disengage yourself emotionally with what is happening. And that itself, it can be learned during years of our life. But this, what I just shared with you, and what Zorka shared, and what Daniel shared, it's, if we put it together, it can give, because especially each one of us, we have different attitude, different temper, different approach. Each one of us, we have these ways that work for us. And I really,
maybe if I'm sorry, maybe if I just might add one very short thing, because you were talking about the breathing. That is a pretty simple technique, but sometimes it can also be challenging for people who are not very used to it. Something that can be added to the breathing, or do it alternate with the breathing, is sounding. That anybody can do with the exhale, just to like, oh, amplify the sense of chaos with our voice. And with the exhale, of course, with the breathing, but using a little sound. That's just my little parenthesis, because sometimes it can help with the breathing process to do that cleansing and coming back, as you said, Aman. Just a little suggestion. Yeah.
Sure. And what you said about Aikido also was very valuable. But again, in that moment, the person needs to be present to their feet, to their stand, to where they are. So that's a focus in present time. And then being present to the person who's coming towards them, and then go with the flow of their movement, and even grab them and push them so it goes faster. But being in the moment, being present and breathing and paying attention to our body is the first key. And there is a beautiful movie, Last Samurai. Tom Cruise is in it. And with this samurai, that in the last scenes of the movie, they are in the middle of the battle, and they are shooting at them with machine gun. And this samurai, look at this beautiful, is already have several bullets on his body. You look at this beautiful sakura apple tree blossoms, and start saying one haiku and finish his haiku in the middle of the battleground. He was totally present to his own experience instead of paying attention to that chaos around him. For him, he was in peace, even in the middle of the battle. So the process of coming inside and then start from there, that's the first step. That if everybody look at it, you will see Zorka said it, Daniel said it, and I said it. Everything starts from here, and then we go forward. And I think it's a good start of a conversation about chaos and how we are dealing. And I hope you guys take it to your life and see which one works for you and which one can help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful time until next time.
And enjoy the chaos.